To his spokesman Salim Loan, Raila was hospitalized at Mombasa over what they suspect to be food poisoning. Loan says Raila is at the moment feeling comfortable and is being examined by a doctor at the hospital. The doctor says there is absolutely no cause for alarm. He added that no one should be worried. So let's now speak to our reporter, Francis Ontomwa from Mombasa on that. He joins me live now here on Checkpoint. Francis, good evening. So tell us, what happened to the NASA presidential candidate? When did it happen? Was he at the airport? That's what we understand.
Well, Yvonne, we are still trying to piece up information here at the Mombasa hospital where he's currently hospitalized. But of course, we've had an interaction here with some of the leaders here. The Mvita Member of Parliament, Mr. Nasir, has actually talked to us and he has said that Raila Odinga is in stable condition. But what we understand is the fact that he's still here at the hospital. We don't know exactly which section he has been put at this time. But of course, the reports that we are getting, because any time from now, medics will be here. And of course, the NASA principals who are together with Raila Odinga to come here and address us and tell us exactly how he is at the moment. But what we know right now is the fact that they are saying that he's in stable condition. And there are suspicions that it could have been food poisoning. That is what we heard. We got actually from some of the leaders that we spoke to here. Well, this actually happened a couple of hours ago when he was just about actually to board a plane at the Moi International Airport. And that is the time he started feeling unwell, and those around him actually suggested that he be brought here for medication, for checkups, and that is the much that we can actually report at this juncture, because a lot of activities happening here, and we are seeing here, of course, a lot of things happening right here. But then that is what we know as at now. Of course, scanty details as regards his condition, but we are told that any moment from now we will be having Kalonzo Musyoka and other principals coming to address us and to tell us exactly how Raila Odinga is at the moment.
Francis, he did have a rally, at the coast. He's been there since yesterday. How was he feeling during the day? Maybe you could also update us on the nature of the rallies, what was said there.
Well, of course, we've had the interaction with Raila Odinga throughout the day. Yesterday, he was in Kwale. We were with him, and he has been actually in good shape all through until now. This information that is emerging here, and of course, it is characteristic of Raila Odinga to be energetic throughout his campaign trails, and not once but severally. He moves and campaigning actually the entire day. Of course, we cannot rule out also the question of fatigue, because he has actually been up and down since yesterday, the entire day. Today, the entire day, he was at Mtwapa. He actually broke the ice at Mtwapa. From Mtwapa, he went to Ganze. From Ganze, he had a rally in Kilifi. From Kilifi, the final rally was in Malindi. And all through, he has actually exhibited good health. Actually, he has been in the right shape of health, and until this particular information that we are getting now, that he has been hospitalized here at the Mombasa hospital. Still waiting for those details to come from doctors. Any moment from now, I'm told Kalonzo Musyoka will be making his way here, and of course he is accompanied by other NASA principals, all to come here and to try and paint towards the picture of how he is at the moment, so that we are able to update our viewers.
Okay, stay with me for a moment. Let's talk about the politics of the day that took place at that rally in Kilifi. We understand from your story that we're about to air, but perhaps you could give us some insights into that. We heard there were responses to the statements that were made by the Jubilee Brigade in Baringo, as well as a comment on, the curfews that have been imposed in Lamu. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about what happened at the rallies today.
Well, of course, it was that another characteristic long day for Raila Odinga, beginning his addresses actually at Mtwapa, and all through a lot of politics, of course, emerged on the podium, right from the question of the Unga politics that was quite characteristic with the crowd here, which kept chanting about this issue. And of course, there has been actually the speech for Raila Odinga down here in Mombasa, or rather in Coast, is actually most of the time quite predictable, because he's spoken widely on the question of historical land injustices, saying that the Jubilee actually is still not getting right the vexing land question, and the vexing land question can only be resolved by really going back to the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation report, which will give some insight on how to address some of these issues. Therefore, it has been actually a smooth day all through for Raila Odinga and his colleagues, of course, trying to put a lot of issues here, trying to woo the Coast region. The Coast region supported them in the last election, but they're not taking any chances this time around, and they have been following all this through the campaign trail. And of course, they had a moment also to take on President Uhuru Kenyatta regarding the judiciary. They are claiming actually the sentiments that came from Uhuru Kenyatta appeared really to injure the independence of the judiciary, and that is a story that we did and reported, and that is the story we actually filed, and that is the story that will be aired to you.
Yes, indeed. Francis Ontoma, let's follow up and watch that story right now about the campaigns that NASA took to Kilifi County.
NASA's campaign trail traversed parts of Kilifi County with a final rally held in Malindi, and the leaders are not taking President Uhuru Kenyatta's sentiments lightly. They claim this is an affront to the independence of the judiciary.
Ametoa matamshi mabaya sana kwa mahakama. Ni kama kutisha mahakama. I want to tell Uhuru there is nobody above the law in Kenya.
Wewe Rais Uhuru, acha nikwambie, lazima uheshimu mahakama. If you are satisfied with any court, the avenue of dissatisfaction is appeal, not condemning the judiciary.
NASA has repeatedly hailed the outcome of the ballot printing case, and it is against this backdrop that the coalition feels informs Jubilee's fears.
Kesho asubuhi tumeona mwaliko wa Chebukati. Sisi tutaenda pale ndio tukubaliane makaratasi yatashapishwa vipi, ndio tuhakikishe tarehe 8 Jubilee wanaenda nyumbani.
The dusk to dawn curfew imposed in some parts of Lamu, Tana River and Garissa formed part of the agenda of NASA leaders. According to the NASA leaders, the curfew slapped in the areas was another ploy to influence the manner in which voters in the areas will vote. Even in the quest to hold grip the region, the subject of voter turnout appears to trouble NASA.
Nataka kwanza kama tumelalia kura kama kesho hakuna kulala. Mnakesha, sio? Mnakesha. Mnakesha.
Kwanza watu wajitokeze na mkilinda kura. Aswa mimi Governor Joho, Governor Kingi, I want you to take this seriously.
Wanataka kuonyesha ati hapa kwetu kutakuwa na utofu wa amani. Mnakumbuka last time walipiga hapa Chonyi, wakapiga Kwale, wakapiga Jomvu, wakasema MRC watu wetu wakimbie, kura zisipigwe.
Historical land injustices yet again are part of the hot campaign issues that will determine the voting patterns in the region.
Hii shida ya ardhi pwani itatekelezwa ikiwa kama tutaweza implement the report ya Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission.
Wakienda kule sehemu zingine za Kenya wanazindua miradi ya mabilions. Hapa Kilifi kuna mradi wa mabilions.
In the last general election, some analysts argued that Raila Odinga fell short of forcing a runoff simply because he could not rally a convincing voter turnout in the region. Reason why this is now the biggest discussion within NASA circles in the region. Francis Ontoma, KTN News, Mtwapa, Kilifi County.
And we will definitely be getting back to Francis Ontoma as soon as he has more news for us from Mombasa Hospital, where we understand NASA flag bearer Raila Odinga has been hospitalized with a case of